Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Witcher, Bloodletting, blah, 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 blah. You can see the title before it goes live. So,
Witcher Bloodletting Session 4. The webs we weave.
yeah,
Act 1. The fuckery.
does everybody remember where we left off?
Yep.
Yep.
Space spider.
You know what?
I'm fairly certain Bran had once again messed our plans up.
No.
Specifically
No.
in the city of Vizima, once again. Specifically using his powers once again.
No, you know what? I think this is... Neil, you could just mute your mic. Rick, would you like to give us a recap from your perspective?
Alright, so because because Talabas was like, hey, I'm gonna poke you now, suddenly we're back in Craig, so we spent a while going back to Vizima again, and I threw away my magic, necklace that's like, oh, you're not as powerful with it because it wards you from magic. So I'm basically a glowing beacon against a spider that wants to eat me, and people were like, no, we want to catch that spider, so Bran became bait. And then my face nearly got eaten by a spider. And I ended up in New York and I met a priest. And he took me to his parish.
It was
He
actually...
kept getting church donations and blessing people. It was the best.
That's pretty funny.
That's all propaganda. It is once again all Bran's fault that we're in this situation. Team Neil.
Donkey, are you going with the vampire or the werewolf? Which team you on?
I'm clearly the werewolf.
I couldn't remember their names. Team Edward and
Jason?
no,
Jake.
no,
I can't
Jake
remember
Paul.
his name either.
Jake.
He's played by Taylor Lautner.
that doesn't help me.
Alright, let me Google it.
Team Edward and Team
Jacob.
Jacob the ladder. That's right. You just think Jacob's ladder.
I wasn't far off, was I? Jason?
Yeah.
I said
Sorry to
Jake.
trigger you there, Scott.
That's okay. So I'm sorry, Donkey. Whose side do you want? Is it Bran's fault or is it Neil's fault?
Wait. Can we just analyze that sentence? Is it Bran's fault or is it Neil's fault?
His fault, yeah.
Shucks, you got me. Dunk still hasn't answered the question.
Am I muted?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
He said it's my fault.
Yeah, I said it's Neil.
He was too busy shoving a banana down his throat.
When I eat a banana, all of my senses just go numb. I'm just like,
I guess we're splitting the party once again.
Oh god, here we go.
Okay, so once again, we can't decide whose fault it is. If it's Neil's
I
fault,
decided.
if it's Bran's fault, or if it's Tal's fault. And I think we all agree that it's Neil's fault. So
Wait, who did Nessie blame?
It's Bran's fault.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Fake
absolutely.
news.
yeah, but I blame Neil, so it's 3-on-2. So, you know, all right, let's go jump back into the game. Last session literally ended with you popping back into existence, Bran. When that whole thing went down, where you popped away, that happened on your turn in initiative, and so when you came back, all of a sudden popping back into existence, that's the end of your turn, and that brings us immediately to Tal's turn. Talabas.
Wait, you're not gonna give me a turn? Ah.
Well, you didn't know when you were going back. You know what? I've got a plan. Give me a intelligence check, and if you pass, you have the wherewithal to act on your turn. That's a fair argument.
No. A deck save.
What?
A deck save.
That makes
Whether
sense.
it reacts fast enough.
I think it's more of wherewithal than it was about speed.
So intelligence save?
Intelligence check.
Okay, they're both the same.
Wisdom.
So it's Neil's turn. It's
I
Tal.
know we went from last time's like, oh, he's gonna have a turn before the beast. Like, oh, I'm gonna take that turn away. That's fine.
I don't recall saying
I
that.
get it. You want to kill me?
Yeah, well, that's true. It's your turn, Neil. You go right ahead with Tal.
I'm fairly certain I am underneath the beast.
You were basically standing there ready with your spear.
Yeah. I can't remember whether or not we did our reaction attacks. But
You know what? Let me do this. My apologies, guys. It's every week. It's a matter of picking things up where we left off. So, as a reminder, so what happened last week? While you were gone, the others were staying here in this realm. Luckily, one of them was able to realize what exactly had happened. It wasn't just that you had disappeared or got pulled into that creature's realm. It actually had snagged you up. And so you had it had gone to attack you, and just your fear had triggered your powers to go off. And so the two of you were teleported throughout time and space to go entirely different locations. We obviously used our viewpoint as partitioners and as participators in this game to see where it was that Bran had gone. We have no idea what the spider had gone through, right? But in the meanwhile, while you guys were gone, Tal ran up to the spot where the spider was and kind of like dug his heels in and like planted the spear to get ready so that when it returned to exactly where it was to thrust upwards. Okay, we had the Witcher there, Bastion, had rushed over there as well and had thrown a mark onto the ground, preparing so as soon as the thing arrived, and that we actually have to trigger that, that would actually go off and would capture the creature and hold it in place. Now, the fun thing about that one was it lasted for a minute. They were gone for exactly a minute because like I rolled rounds. They're gone for exactly a minute. And so literally because your turn has not transpired yet in this round, it literally it's going to go off right before it ends, which is kind of nice. And you also get your reaction. Luis had been standing on it and was like, "Oh, I thought it was over, like he was dead, and we were just kind of gonna move on. But I guess I'll stay here and knock an arrow and wait to draw." And so all of you guys stood there tentatively for about a minute's time, waiting and waiting and waiting, knowing it's any moment could be the moment. And then all of a sudden, they're back in place, and you see Bran standing exactly where he was before, with kind of like a look of peace on his face. And even though he just reappeared, it's almost as though his senses haven't caught up to him yet for his reappearal, because as he's doing so, he's literally like reaching out and shaking someone's hand, a smile on his face. As you guys jump into action, the smile slowly starts to fade as he takes in his surroundings. Immediately you have Tal thrusts that spear upwards right as that triggering spell goes off, and Bastion's whose sword is like in an overhead chop, that heavy stance that they did, if you have played Witcher 1, in his heavy stance, stepping forward and doing like a big baseball swing into it. Luis, a bit surprised but very quick to react and keen, firing his knocked arrow.
Hey Scott,
Yes.
never did cameras.
Oh, hey. I'm Bran, everybody.
Oh, that's funny.
Just to switch.
Does that mean I get a turn?
So who's supposed to be there first? Neil's supposed to be here first. So Neil, you leave yours on.
Yeah, Neil's fine.
I think it has to be Donkey, and then so Donkey back on, and then Messy.
it's messy last.
Yep.
I'm last. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That's how it goes. That's right. Oh, that's right. Dougie always goes second. All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
You know what you need to say, Scott.
What's that? Oh, I'm a professional streamer. I was up fairly late last night. It doesn't matter. I'll explain during not action time.
Barely up late.
I'll explain during not action time. So let's I'm a So let's first go with the your spell going off. Could you do me a favor, Dunce? Could you actually throw your spell into chat for us so we can see its abilities?
Yes, I can. Okay, let's see which one it is. It's not that one.
I'm receiving a phone call. I don't know who it is. Or
Pretty
why.
sure the one I threw was the radiant one. 'Cause it's-
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Correct, it was. So it means it makes a Constitution saving throw, which I'll do right now, sir. Thank you very much. So its con modifier is... All right. Here we go. Oh, what's your save? Yeah, so it actually succeeded its saving throw. It's going to take half of... You can roll your 2d6 damage.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did the beast use a Witcher save?
No, what?
Did you shout Witcher save?
No,
Total?
sorry, made it saving throw. All right,
Oh.
so roll your 2d6 damage for me, please, Donkey. There you are. Oh, don't do that. I was like, am I not seeing it? So
I think sometimes rolling dice like that takes a little bit longer on roll 20.
yeah, it also depends on who's hosting and where they are in relation because of servers or whatever. So 5 points of damage. Unfortunately, it takes half of that. It takes 2 points of damage from your spell going off, but we'll allow you to make your first reaction attack, Dunce. So make your attack roll with your weapon, please, sir.
I will do that.
Are you happy with your 17? You know that from last round session, and you guys got with Witcher's point being used at a 19 hit.
I'll stick with the 17 and see if it hits.
I think a 17 will hit.
Yep, you hit with that. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, do your damage, sir. As you guys continue your tracking down, trying to find what the creature's AC is. 15 points of damage! Oh, man, you're bringing the pain. Beautiful. Thank you very much. I'll take that 15 damage. Yeah, it is. All right, Neil, you're up next. You get to make your attack.
Yep, so Tau will thrust up with the spear. That was nearly a 1.
Okay, are you happy with your 15? Trying to find that initiative. Sorry, the AC. Okay,
Yeah.
so you actually do hit with your 15 as well.
So it's an AC of 15 or 14. And
Could be a 9. You never know. It's a big creature.
it's not Bran. It's not Bran on stilts.
I have 12, thank you.
Yeah, I know. Steve's like, how much health this? How much health this?
And that will be my martial arts die is 1d6. So that will be an extra 1d6.
Oh, are you also gonna do 15 damage? That'd be cute. That'd be cute.
No,
should
I
totally
got a
hit.
1 up. Got a big
Nope, 15 damage. It's cute. It's cute. Seriously, 32 damage, guys. All right. So that was you guys actually do a considerable amount of damage. The creature just appears out of nowhere. As I said, the trigger goes off. Even though the spell didn't necessarily harm it, and it certainly didn't pin it in place using the magical tendrils to do so, it did actually startle it enough with that flash of light. That flashlight also pulling Bran's attention back into the world that he is now, as opposed to the one that he just transported away from. Using this advantage that hard thrust upwards with the spear, and then the swing of the sword that actually almost cut through the abdomen to meet with the spear. You hear the clashing of metals between Mahawken steel and the dragon slaying steel as the two of them meet inside of the creature. It's a devastating blow for the spider. There's no denying that. And that brings us to initiative.
I've actually done that before.
This sounds inappropriate. Tal, it is going to be you. Okay. It is going to be your actual turn. Please, Tal, go.
Okay, right. So I use Death Strike on my reaction. It says you can only use it once on each of your turns, so I won't use it again, I think is fair. He will retract said spear and stab once again.
All right.
Oof. Oof. Big oof.
Oof.
I guess we can find out whether or not a 10 is a hit.
Yeah, let's find out. I don't think it will. It's 12 plus at least.
Okay, a 10 is going to be a miss, sir.
Yeah. Let's stab once again.
That's a miss. That 26.
And that will be a key point to attempt to stun a strike. So
Absolutely.
10 damage,
hiccups.
and it will have to make a Constitution saving throw. It'll be stunned.
What's the DC for that one? Because I beat a 16.
What would it be? 14, I think.
I beat a 16, so I made my save.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I miss.
10 damage, okay.
And then, do I wanna? I mean, it's only the one, so let's just blow the key. Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's just do it.
Oh.
And I forgot to let Luis take his reaction attack, so he'll get that 1 second. Your 19's a hit.
Let's also make this a stunning strike because if I can, that's good. 9 damage. Did it pass?
No, it's still up. Oh, sorry, it made it save.
Oh yeah, it passed. Okay. Right, one more. I was kind of hoping to confer advantage on everyone. Let's do it. Let's
Would
use
have been
one.
really
Wow,
happy
this
to
is some
see
really
him
good rolls.
on my head trying to eat me again. But you know.
9 damage, and again, it will have to make a Constitution
How
save.
does restraining work? Does restraining give any advantage?
It's not restrained because it passed.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, otherwise, yeah, it would give us all advantage.
And check that one. Your last stunning strike. I got an natty 20, so I definitely succeeded that one as well. Sorry.
It saved 3 con saves.
It's a large spider, man.
No.
Yeah, it's got a good con. Sorry.
You gotta try it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, did you blow all of your key?
No.
You got a couple left, probably 2 or 3 left. Yeah. All right, cool. So that was an insane amount of damage. Luis, you never got your attack of opportunity, your reaction attack. If you could take that shot for me, please, sir.
So, Luis wasn't expecting them to come back, so he was like he had his bow drawn because everyone else was there, but that minute was really long, so he kind of just like slouched into it and like rested his chin on his hand and like started like he was like waiting for everyone to give up.
This man is a god. He's just like, yeah, just relax with my
No, he's like
60-pound plus bow. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So his other hand cut off.
I was gonna say maybe what's his name? Oh my God, Messi doesn't know what it's like to draw a bow. Have you ever actually fired a bow and arrow before?
Never in my life. I've shot guns, but never a bow.
Good luck trying to keep an arrow ready to go for a minute.
No, he wasn't.
It's a different sport. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I guess I'll take a reaction shot, but I think I should take it at disadvantage.
Sure, you go right ahead.
Thanks, man.
Sorry to
Throw away
interrupt.
an
You.
arrow.
Fun.
The hamster's an emote now.
You know what's upsetting? You know what's upsetting?
I still hit.
It could have been a critical hit, but you make your attack roll, sir. You make your damage, sir.
No, you threw it away.
You obviously don't know how number generation works, mate.
You go right ahead, sir.
That would have been a critical hit. So that's 8.
Yeah, but they're within 5 feet of the creature, so you're actually getting a sneak attack with this as well.
Sweet. Is my hunter's mark still on it?
That's a good question. Hunter's Mark, it has a range, doesn't it? And if a creature travels outside of that, throw Hunter's Mark into chat for me. I can't remember if it's after it's cast, if its range is limitless.
90 feet.
So,
Because you can track it.
yeah, exactly. So it's actually, its target is within range.
Until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 damage.
Yeah. When you see seasons, no, old editions had rules that spells ended when you traversed planes, but this one doesn't have things specifically say that. Actually, they're a lot more forgiving.
5e thing that would say that.
Yeah, no, 5e is a lot more forgiving. So I'm going to allow it to still be on there. Do your damage. Oh, do 4 damage. Oh.
Oh. Wait.
All right, so
Well, that's fine.
no, you're good. You're good. So it's 12 damage. All right, now, fun. It's actually your turn.
Wow, what a surprise.
Yep.
Wait. Fix that turn order, mate. House turn's over.
There you go.
Thanks.
Now it's your turn.
Thank you. Okay. Now I'll shoot. Are you kidding me? There's a cat outside the window meowing at my cat.
You can't win with those cats, man.
Here we
Messi
go.
just attracts cats.
Yeah. I'm not going to rephrase that.
That was a 15. Did we try 15? Did it
15 hits, I believe.
15 hits. You don't know about 14 or 13
Okay, so 15 hits. So that's good.
or 12.
I was sharpshooter as well.
And it
If
was
you
a
just kill it
sharpshooter.
now, you don't have to worry about it.
He did his sharpshooter. Oh my god! Oh, the damage! And because it's a
What are the 6 eyes, mate?
hold on, and because it's a new round of combat, you also have that one counted as a sneak attack because it's only one a round. So Hunter's Mark and sneak attack. So that's 24.
Does
Jesus.
it do Dread Ambusher?
No.
No, it wouldn't do.
And add your Hunter.
And then Hunter. I don't. There we go. This one's the one I've been using.
Oh god.
Whee.
26 damage. Okay. God damn it.
How's it doing?
I was getting ready to rip Rick's face off and disappear.
But,
You did 26 damage to it.
which means
Instead, you ripped its face off.
I went for the eyes. All 6 of them at once.
I'll allow you to describe your cinematic kill, sir.
Well,
God damn it! It was my turn was next, and you only have one attack! Ah.
That's what you get for taking my turn away.
I do want to be clear, though. You literally beat him by 1 health point, which means if that spell didn't go off doing that floppy 2 damage, like you brought him to 0, and then you brought him to -1 because of that 2 points of damage from that spell. So go ahead, floppy spell.
alright, so when the creature hit the ground, everyone's stabbing it. Luis does a pitiful little shot, and then it's like, you know what? We gotta kill this thing. He really pulls back on it, aims for all 6 eyes, lets go, and it hits all 6.
Is this like JFK, like magic arrow theory?
Yeah.
Like,
He
it was
pulls
like-
out. He pulls out an arrow that's just like a flat metal blob, and he just fires it, and they all just go split. There's actually what's the term for those arrows?
No, it's the head. I split the wood at the end, and it splits in 6 different directions, specifically designed to hit all 6 eyes. It's a phase spider eye hitting arrow that I happen to have on me from the beginning of the game. I put that into my character at the beginning, and he said that was okay, so I figured I'd use it.
as a better end of this, you actually were daydreaming. You actually rolled a natural 2. You missed your shot. It's now the spider's turn. Sorry. It was such a bad explanation. I had to. So the spider's turn, and it's gonna bear down on Bran. No, unfortunately, it's not.
Okay, it just had an alternate timeline I miss. What does the spider do?
Oh, you want to know how its turn would have gone? Is this like poker? Do I show my hand, or do we keep it? Do you keep it?
I don't know.
Look at Rick's face. Rick is saying, "Please no." You know. Let me take the win. Let me just have it, guys.
Let me see the other dimension, and if I like that one better, we'll just hop planes to that one.
Unfortunately, the gatekeeper of other dimensions is Bran. So, Bran, how does Bran feel about this plan?
Shove it.
All right. The spider has the arrow goes through its head on one side, straight through an eye, and the way it comes out the other side, because it's split on the inside, it pierced through 2 other eyes on the other side, and just like the spider just comes stiff and drops on the
Wouldn't
ground.
it flail and like kind of collapse in on itself?
Well, yeah, so it drops onto the ground like all spiders do. It does that whole and it pulls itself in. It does that like very jittery kind of, shaky motion as the whole thing just curls up to a little ball seeming way smaller than it did before, which is kind of like creepy and unnatural. But nonetheless, unfortunately,
Was Bran grabbed when it was closing in on itself? Is he trapped now within the deathly grip of a dead spider?
somebody has a
Fireball
spider wrecked
suddenly hit
emote?
Little Louise. Oh no, what a shame.
I've never seen spider wrecked emote before. That makes me so happy. Did you see that? It's literally a boot splat. Like, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, sorry. That makes me happy. I don't know whose stream that's from, but that makes me happy.
From Spider.
It's a person.
One and only.
Twitch.tv/ninja.
Is Ninja a spider?
Do you not know who Ninja is?
I know who Ninja is. Why is their name Spider?
Just kidding, dude.
Oh, okay. I know exactly who Ninja is, but that's cool. So, anyways, all right. So you guys, awesome. You killed the thing. It sits there dead. Bran, you luckily come to your senses and are kind of getting yourself prepared to defend yourself as this thing is launching for you, towards you. but just kind of flops onto its back and curls up. How is everybody reacting to this? Good news.
I walk over and I kick it.
I want Leonard to be able to take his turn, so if you just want to skip through turn order
Wait, what?
for him.
Oh, I am so sorry. I totally was in the moment and did not see this. Bran, you did receive a second wind, and Dark Lord Snuggles gave you guys a Witcher sense.
Hey.
Cool. So do I roll like a hit die for the?
Correct. You actually just legit press hit die, and you gain that as temporary health points.
Wait.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. All right. So you were saying something messy when I interrupted you.
Yeah, just skip the turn order to Leonard.
No, it's everybody's turn. You're good.
Yeah, just skip the turn order.
So you want Leonard to kind of just like drop in, like he also has a bow, but he's like dropping like anime style from the sky, shooting down, like
He's coming after Bran while he's weak.
and then like right before he hits the ground, he'll also pull like an arrow on like a string, and he'll shoot a wall, and he'll swing away, but not be cut in half by the G-forces.
Yeah, he'll drop down on top of Bran and stab him, and then drop a smoke bomb, and he'll be gone. Like Batman.
Now, when you say stab him, do you mean like sword out, like between the knees,
like
straight
drop
through
it.
his head and body, and stands on his shoulders to
Cal's
collapse
gonna
and break the
just
fall?
raise the spear a little bit. Aim for the hole. Oh,
I'm gonna just
I
rattle
got him.
it.
I got him.
Oh, look at that! We got Leo on a stick.
Should we carry the spider to the Burgermeister? He said he'd pay us, and we have the proof that we killed the
Why don't we
thing.
just like cut off the head?
I don't think he did say he'd pay us. I believe it was the respected fellow down in the non-human district who said he'd pay
That
us.
was the original plan. I believe the Burgermeister said he would pay us the 1,000 last
Is
time.
it Dad?
Bastion. I believe you will find the Burgermeister said,
It looks Dad.
and I quote, "I don't give a fuck. Get out of my office."
Wait, did he not say that? What, like, out of character?
He
did,
did say
he
last
did.
session, like, yeah, if you go there, I'll pay you like 1,000 at the end of the week.
He said, "Yeah, exactly. Wait another week, you get an additional 1,000 on top of the 1K he owes you. Yeah, owes you. Yeah."
While they're arguing.
I'm gonna
Either way.
investigate the spider because it can travel dimensions.
Fair.
While they're arguing, Luis is gonna like try to like be walking himself down the edge of the building, not fall.
Either way, I was
Very
mostly
carefully.
joking. We should probably just be on our way. I honestly don't care too much about the gold. We can come get it whenever.
I suppose when you think about it, split 4 ways, it's only 250 fucking gold. Sure, why not? Maybe we should give our other rewards away to charity. I'm joking. I really am.
Do you want 250 gold?
Well, my body is telling me to say yes to your offer. I feel it would be in bad taste to accept it from you, Bast. And so, I won't force the matter either way.
Alright, good. I was going to shove it up the spider's ass.
Do they have? Is that?
The big part, whatever it
They're
is.
like little silk spools. Little
Shut
silk
up, Louis.
spool.
So, Tal literally takes a step back from the horrible, huge spider that's still like oozing, crosses his arms like with the spear in like the crook of one arm, and like goes like this. So, you gonna chop it up then?
I'll help Bran investigate it first, because he wanted to look for the bits and bobs that make it.
I'm poking it to see how it works. It doesn't work anymore. I don't need to roll for that.
Tal's gonna watch, and he's gonna comment. Oh, that bit looks nasty. Oh no. Oh, I reckon that bit
you
smells
don't
really
just
bad.
It'll give you one of the eyes.
He explicitly took a few steps back for the purpose of safety.
So you're gonna obviously start to break down this creature. Who's assisting in the breakdown?
Would I be able to assist with Arcana? Because it's like a dimension spider.
Yep, I will allow that. And then obviously you guys will use your I mean, there's obviously just the basic Witcher ability, but you'll also use your what's it called? Survival to break this thing down too. So you can roll with your Arcana. Who's rolling with survival?
Yeah, I can do it.
Rick, I feel like you roll not terribly in this campaign, but fairly consistently you roll poorly on Arcana, which I know it might be frustrating at times, but I actually like it because your character was never trained. Everything's
I
instinctive.
know, but it's just frustrating to be like, oh, I can't do anything good for like 3 or 4 solid sessions.
No, just Arcana checks. Just Arcana checks.
No, it's pretty much everything.
No. Ah!
You did give a homeless guy a gold shekel.
The guy's rich now.
That's gotta be some good karma.
I just heard a little meow one sec.
And that was my voice going high pitch.
No, that's my cat.
So the you get for your experience pool to spend on stuff there on making potions. So you better start doing these a bit more often there, boyo. 1,800.
1,800.
And you don't split that with another Witcher.
Yeah.
That's all you. So you're gonna have to find ways to spend that stuff.
Thunderbolt all day, every day.
I'm gonna make another Thunderbolt potion
Yo, shut up!
to replace the one that I.
Hey,
And listen.
do you remember that emo with the boot? Just saying.
How could you even suggest that? Your sub count has just gone down.
You know what? That's
Unsubbed, yeah.
Like not even no one's even unsubscribed. It's just been someone has taken a boot to your sub count.
You know what? If you're here, I think you know I don't like cats, but only because cats aren't people. All right. So, anyways,
What if cats were people?
I still wouldn't like cats. I'd be a bad person.
I think that's because
Racist.
you're actually a cat person, Scott. And by that I don't mean like you love cats. I mean like you're a cat. In
Oh.
your body.
Meow.
He's furry. He stays up too late. Doesn't like other cats. He loves food. Oh God, no. I'm not even going anywhere with that listen thing. Stop now.
Oh my god, is he a Neko?
You should see the way I stretch too, Neil. It's one of those like.
Yeah.
Please don't do that on camera ever again.
Please.
That needs to be gift.
All right. So, anyways, I could do it backwards. Like I could do the full turnaround. No. All right. So,
Keep your chocolate starfish away.
it's if you know what the Royal Bank of Scotland is or Citizens Bank in the United States, they have this symbol for their bank, and you're just like, that's a cat. All right. So, anyways, so you start like ripping this thing apart, trying to get any bits of it that are valuable. You gain all the 1,800 experience points, which is actually absolutely incredible. You're also trying to find anything else on it that could be useful. I will say you're able to get its sack. It's poison sack. You're actually able to draw that. And it really only used it once so far in combat, 2 bites maybe. So it's actually a rather full sack that has like lots of the poison in it for you to stop. The poison in it for you to use for like coating weapons and whatnot if you appropriately like store it and handle it and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, your 12 on the Arcana check is not enough to be able to get maybe anything, whatever it is that allows it to transition between this plane and the next. You're not able to procure anything like that. Messy's hanging on.
I'm a spider now.
Oh God.
So is my cat.
If we all did the stream upside down like that, like, oh.
Bren, would you have anything to help me carry this? I'm just holding
this sack.
this sack I've got here.
It's a poison sack.
Oh, what is that? And Luis goes up and like squishes it a little bit.
Are you poisoned, idiot?
Why don't you just decant it? Yeah, I know that word.
considering you often drink from a decanter.
It's alcohol related. He knows it.
Yeah.
Well, I figured Bran might want at least a little bit for study as well.
I mean, it's not really the poison that interests me.
Fair enough.
Is it the sack itself? Makes you feel a little curious, huh?
Yeah, I guess I'll put that in a big old bottle.
I'm sure we've got like a flask somewhere.
So you start going over and trying to put that into the large bottle. Bran, of course, is over still looking at the creature. He knows how this tentacles seem to like bore through his skin without even any effort involved. There was some sort of goop that like kind of melted away his flesh without, like I said, without any effort. Just kind of like seemed to burrow through like a worm would through the dirt, right? So
That's a horrible thought.
Yeah. These are the tentacles, like the tendrils almost that it has. And so he's kind of over there inspecting that, trying to scrape off whatever he can. But unfortunately, whatever goop it had that allowed it to do this, it must have dissipated at death, or maybe he's harvesting it wrong, whatever it might be. He's unsuccessful in doing so, but still probably grabbing a tentacle or two for later research anyways, right? You have, what's his name there? Luis is kind of like working the perimeter and maybe like watching, not really getting too involved, because even though he has no problem like, you know, stringing up a few squirrels, gutting them and whatnot, working on a dead phase spider full of all sorts of, maybe he's not so comfortable with this scenario yet. Tal is having a drink and lending aid where he can, and Bastion is now dumping the poison sac into a decanter or a flask or whatever it might be that he has. Unfortunately, in doing so, he actually ends up spilling a little bit of it. His hand is a little unsteady, and it ends up kind of like glopping onto his flesh. Make me a Constitution saving throw, sir.
God damn it.
Ah.
Hell, you want some of this?
You take 9 points of damage as the poison courses through your veins. You know,
Oh my god.
because you take half.
Yeah, I know.
And you didn't get to take the other effect of the poison because, you know, you succeeded your save. So anyways, 9 points of damage as it comes coursing through your veins, you know, a burning sensation. Unfortunately, in this spillover from the sack into the flask and what ended up pouring down your flesh, and because it was such a large quantity to actually be able to absorb through your skin so easily, you lost about half of what you had harvested. Sorry about that. You can guess who to blame or check the VODs.
How much would I have? Should I like write down a value for how much I have?
No, not at the moment, because when you guys actually do a little bit of work later on, we'll find out how much that is. Okay. The cat feels your pain though.
You spill some on like a nearby stray cat.
So do you guys, because it's now what, like 3 a.m. or 3:30 in the morning, whatever we had talked about beforehand. Do you now drag this to the Burgermeister's chambers?
No, I retire to a tavern where we spend like the first 4 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now how many hours did we spend? Because I can't remember when this creature.
You'd only rested about 4 hours, about halfway through last time. Yeah. And honestly, this whole... Excuse me, about 4 hours last time, and then so many hours passed after that, your long rest trigger has like passed. You'd have to start it over again, which isn't the end of the world. It just means you guys get to rest for 8 hours before you do anything. With it being 3 a.m, that means y'all are going to be up and about and truly active around like 11:30 in the morning. Nothing crazy. So it's a late morning for everyone as they're going about their business. Some of you having cold sweats as they're trying to survive their as they're like forcing poison through their liver. Some of you guys having nightmares as giant spiders are eating their face. And
I thought it was impossible to poison a Witcher.
no, it's not impossible. Are you immune to the poison's condition?
They're bodies. So bodies. They're
so.
like organs are far superior at filtering out poisons,
Yeah.
and they have a faster metabolism. So the poisons that go into their system get filtered out much faster,
Yeah.
and they're capable of handling much worse poisons than a human.
Yeah,
So you guys would all be dead right now, is what you're saying.
oh yes. If that
So
wasn't.
it says immune to disease for actual gameplay mechanics.
Yeah. Immune to disease, but poisons still hit you. It's just I believe there's a way for you to meditate to purge poisons from yourself, or you can actually drink that one potion that you can make. What's it called? The
White honey?
Is it the White Raffords?
No, not White Raffords.
Hell,
White honey?
I think it's
I don't think-
yeah, I think it's
I
honey.
don't think I'm allowed to make another potion because I have a White Raffords and a.
I mean, you don't need to, but that would be like if you were poisoned, that cures the
White
poison.
Raffords is just a heal.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's honey. Something to do with honey, anyway.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
It's been a long time.
I'm actually gonna look.
Retired now.
I'm-
In Toussaint.
I'm gonna
I
look
live in a
one
vineyard.
second.
That's it. I don't do witchering anymore.
White Raffords, Willow, White Raffords.
It's honey. It's honey. Live for
White
honey.
honey, yes, white honey.
Okay. It is white honey. You're correct. There you go.
okay, but I have to check to make sure.
Of course. What's the maximum number of potions you can have on hand? Is it 3?
I thought it was 2.
I think it went up because your proficiency bonus went up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I will make and then drink a white honey during some amount of time during the long rest.
Okay, cool. And then you can make another, because there's only 100 experience off of your huge pool of XP that you have. And then you can start making other stuff later on. All right, so anyways, moving on. You guys are get your rest, maybe drink yourself into oblivion and wake up to have a hair of the dog that bit you, whatever it might be. The next day, you have stored overnight this husk of a spider where?
We just drag it in an alley. Why not?
Just leave it in Diagon Alley.
Anyone sees it, they're just gonna run away and scream.
Okay. Anybody else? Any different plans, or is that what you're doing? Just leave it in the alley.
Oh, fuck it. I don't care.
Okay.
You want to bring the head, maybe? You're just going to leave the whole
We
thing?
could bring the head. Like, I don't
I don't
really.
know. Someone smushed all the eyes on the head. It's not really a good trophy, is it?
I say
It's
we
not
just
smushed.
like. I say we just tell the local mayor guy that we handled it because I don't really feel like talking to the burger.
You're feeling altruistic, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, that's like the main point of this is just to help them before we go.
That is true. We did this entirely to avoid racial tensions.
Yeah, because the guy.
We don't care about the payer.
We didn't even form like a contract for this one.
No.
We just fucking did it.
Then let's go.
Well, it was a verbal agreement, right? So the next day you wake up, you go to check out where it was that you had left in the alleyway, and it's not there.
Oh fuck. That's either a good, really good thing or a really bad thing.
Does Bran see it?
Well, you guys can roll me an investigation check.
Well, it's
Can
a
I
big
roll with
thing.
advantage because I'm looking with with detect magic up?
No.
No. Worth a try.
This is dead.
I give up.
Let's go. Come on, here we go. Talabas saving the day.
There you go,
That
Tao.
Bat 1 mod.
So Luis is like, oh shit, and takes to like a rooftop to look to see if there's any signs of it on a roof, and you have Bastion, who's kind of like, all right, now if I was a big spider, where would I run off to? And then you have Bran that's like, yeah, where would it run off to? And it's like trying to really see like footprints of where it may have gone. However, Tal, who's like watching all of them with these like ridiculous trying to track the spider and where it may have gone because it came back to life. Tal's just kind of like, they know that not everything comes back to life, right? And like looks and sees marks on the ground of this thing clearly being dragged away. Like it has been dragged away. You do find tracks of that. They're not going to be easy to follow if you cared to do so, or maybe you just don't care to do so at all. You just know that it was taken by someone.
Now, I reckon it looks like our large Legley friend was. Let's call him Legley. He was dragged off.
Oh.
And while I don't myself care about the reward, I do care about someone else getting paid for the work that we've done.
I'm also
So-
concerned that perhaps someone could attempt to resurrect it. Because as you know, these things always come back to life.
I mean, Have we encountered anything? He like looks at. Have we encountered anything that came back to life?
The
Foglet.
Foglet.
Ah, yeah.
I think we should investigate anyway. I'm sure it won't take too much time.
Right then. And Tal will like bend down and have a look at the drag marks.
Okay, this would be a survival or an investigate check, whatever you guys are happy with. If you want to, I'm going to aid such and such to give them advantage. Feel free to do so.
I will assist Talabas.
Okay, and then how about
I've
the
got a
other?
+3 mod, but my rolls are legendarily terrible.
So, Luis, you want to assist the +3 mod who's legendarily terrible?
Why don't you assist me? Because I have +6 for survival.
Oh, you're
Sure,
going to
go
go
for
survival.
it.
Gotcha. Cool.
That's better.
Oh.
2 18s.
Nice.
That's funny. So it's one of those things where Tal and Bastion are trying to track the things, but honestly, as they're going along and they're trying to track it, like they're having this like fun conversation, walking, trying to follow the tracks, and all of a sudden, Bastion's attention totally gets pulled because he's like looking at the ground with intent, but then he sees these ankles that lead to these legs, to these hips, and then he turns and he's like, Tal. Tal looks up and then the two of them just start like talking, like they do like a little like hey, but then they like talking like conquest with one another, like oh, they completely get distracted. The other two, however, don't get along anywhere near as well as those two do with anybody else or each other. So they are way more focused on the task at hand and are able to follow the tracks fairly well. They actually see that they go over to like a sewer grate, but not like one of the large walk-through sewer grates that big cities like this have to get into like the under area where all like the shit and whatnot sludges through. Because sewers are nothing more than like aqueducts, it's just like a flow of nasty. You see it gets dragged down there. It's up to you whether that you want to pursue or leave it be.
I chuck a firebolt down there discreetly to see if there's anything. There's
I
like
need to
light.
discreetly throw fire.
What did you say? I'm sorry?
I'm gonna chuck a firebolt down there to use the lights to see if I can see anything in the direct vicinity.
Oh, I thought you said I'm going to throw a fireball. I was like, whoa.
Ah!
I'm just going to clear it out just in case.
Yeah, let's skip the other DEFCON levels. Take it right down to 1.
Yeah, right? Seriously. Code Black.
Which, speaking of DEFCON, Scott, XCOM 2 is -75% off.
I just bought it last night.
Yeah, I just thought of you.
You
when I
actually
saw it.
bought a thing on sale? What?
And I picked up the 2 games that Slashes said were free. I got the expansion pack for XCOM 2 as well, but not War of the Chosen because it was only 50%, and I was like,
Yeah,
I feel
it
like that
wasn't
could be
quite
better.
as good,
Yeah. I was like, it could be better. So, anyways, thank you. I appreciate it. It was a midweek madness sort of thing. So, anyways, they you guys you hurl the fire bolts down there. It ends up like igniting some small sludge pile of nasty shit or whatever it is, and continues to burn for a bit, almost like a candle down below. But the sudden light and the burst of heat was enough that you hear a bunch of rats screech and run off, like scamper off. But you don't see anything down there other than the stairwell dropping down like a solid, 25 steps, and these steps aren't like they're like good sized steps down there. And the firebolt also reveals that there's not one but 2 locked gates to get down below. I should say 2 gates that can lock that go down below. However, it doesn't seem like either of them are locked.
Well, we could go down there and investigate, but I'm not sure if there's going to be much left to find.
I don't want to go in the sewers. I'm gonna be honest with you, Bran. I like not smelling like shit. But you guys can go.
If only Tao was there, he'd be like, "Why are you from the swampland?"
But he's not, so shh.
Go, Bran.
Nah, I've had enough close encounters for one day.
All right, fair enough. So let's just tell him we couldn't find anything, and let's hop on out of here. I'm tired of this city. I've been here so long.
Cowards.
And so the two of you turn back to meet up with the other ones, who honestly have
And then she said, "You've not got the bottle," and I pulled the bottle out. You know where from?
What?
Oh, hi guys.
Oh, hey, Tal.
No, you're hilarious.
I'm just going to prestidigitation my brain area to forget that happened.
Did you guys find anything?
No, nothing.
Well, if you include a sewer and a bunch of rats.
Brent, stop.
Well, I can't say I was particularly including a sewer or a bunch of rats.
Yeah, I don't think that's what we were looking for.
We were looking for a huge spider corpse, actually. Yeah. Don't know whether you remember.
No, well, I think the rats found it. They must have had a feast.
You think a rat tracked it into the sewers?
No,
Alright,
but
Bran.
I'm thinking that because it was dragged into the sewer, a bunch of rats did find it there, and they had a field day.
What Brand meant to say is we didn't find anything.
I mean, we didn't see the spider corpse.
I think we should make Lo take a look.
I mean, you are the quietest.
Now that you
officer.
suggest it, Bastion, that might not be the worst idea.
No. No. No.
Well, Lo, if you're gonna want to work with us, you're gonna have to be a little bit more.
Forthcoming. We all make sacrifices sometimes. See, I played bait the other night.
I fought a spider.
He did play bait. He did fight a spider. I didn't drink for that evening. I cut down a little bit anyway.
Let me see. Maybe I can
sacrifices.
do something for you. And Lo's gonna look around for some peasant people nearby. He's gonna just kind of like in eyesight. Anyone in eyesight look like a peasant?
Yeah, there's a lot of peasants around, man. A lot of peasants around.
Any of them that Lo has relations with?
Oh yeah. I'd say sure. Yeah. It's not that not anybody that you're like friends with, but people that like. Oh, I'm pretty sure his name is Josiah. You know what I mean?
Anyone that I find really annoying?
Well, aside
If you
from
look in the mirror.
No, I think I'm great. Thank you.
there's someone over there named Jonas.
Jonas. Okay. All right, my boy Jonas. Hey, Jonas, come here for a second, and I'll run over to him.
Everybody else perceives as he looks back at he's like, oh, come here a second. He looks back to you guys, like giving you that, hey, give me a sec look, and then heads over to Jonas. While he does that look back towards you, you see Jonas does like this epic eye roll, and then he turns and he's like, hey.
So, I'm just gonna like, from the, I think it'd be more fun from the party perspective. You just see Lo like pull out like, there's like 5 little gold coins. And he just like he starts handing it to the guy, and he's just like pointing over to the sewer, and he's just like talking like, you know, man, like I lost my dog, like I just need help finding him, but I don't want to go in the sewer. I got somewhere to be, so if you could find him for me, that'd be great. Just take a look down there. Like making up some random story.
He's like, roll me a persuasion check, actually.
5 gold though. That's
only I
more
was
than
good
like
at
a peasant
persuasion.
scrub we'll see in a year.
If only I was good at persuasion. I'm not. I'm horrible.
He says, he looks down at the gold, looks at you, and says, absolutely. I'd be happy to take care of that for you.
Oh, thank you, Jonas. Jonas, you're a real lifesaver, man. All right, well, let me know what you find, and I'll see you later.
Yep, I definitely will. Thank you.
Cheers.
He's
man.
like, hey, thanks for thinking of me.
No problem, Jonas. I've always liked you.
Yeah, likewise.
And then I'll start walking back to the party, and I'd be like,
Takes the gold.
he's an ass.
Something similar happens across the way, but it's behind, of course, his back because he just jogged back up to you guys.
Do we see anything with Jonas? Like, is Jonas like laughing with his buddies now?
Not laughing. You know, it's kind of one of those. And then he starts walking off in the direction of the sewers. To be fair, and you guys start go about your own business. So I believe you had said specifically that you wanted to go speak to the dwarf that was in charge in this area, and so you're gonna go meet up with him. And as you go to meet up with the guy, getting meeting with him is pretty easy. It's not exactly like he's anywhere near as wealthy, important, or literally anybody worth noting as the Burgermeister. So when you go meet up with him, he's literally having breakfast. Lunch. Which lunch for him is he's got this big mutton chop in front of him, and he's like holding it 2 hands and digging in this like grease dripping down his beard and whatnot, and he's got a big old goblet in front of him that he's drinking his grog from, and he's like, oh. Good.
Saving enough for the rest of us?
Huh? Does one of those, like, grabs the beard and just kind of, like, works the grease into it.
Dwarves.
Wow. Well, we took care of your problem.
Aye?
Yes, it was a
No,
giant, yeah, it was a giant brain-eating spider.
A what now?
Bren could probably explain it a bit better.
Look, you heard the Witcher. It's a giant brain-eating spider. We clobbered it till it stopped moving.
I put my hand on Tal's shoulder. I was like, Tal, give me a moment, please. And I like forcibly not like
Cal doesn't
actually
Cal
enough
just
force to
looks
push
at
you back, but I will pull your
Just, like,
shoulder
looks
back.
down at you. He stops talking, but he just like looks down at
The reason
It's like when a child goes to their parent like more or less, I got this, and you're like, little person. Go ahead, little Brad.
The reason your people have been disappearing is because the spider has been eating their brains and then hiding the bodies.
Brains.
I pull out the legs that you said I got from the spider as a trophy, sort of like.
Yeah.
Now with the legs like this, you can imagine that the whole beast itself is going to be like, and I measure it out.
Where is this thing?
It appears to have been, I believe, dragged into the sewer.
Yeah, Jonas is looking for it right now.
What they said.
Other places, you said. Brains, you said. But did anybody else see you fight it?
I saw it.
There were a few bystanders that fled.
I also fought it. Oh yeah, wait. Didn't some people in those houses nearby might have teleported with you?
Details, details. We never saw anybody get teleported.
Okay.
But there were definitely a couple people that I remember you saying there were some people that ran away.
Yeah. Of course. He's like, huh. See,
Oh, that beard. Disgusting.
there's if there's no body, there's no proof.
I've got the legs. Like, I know it's not the best trophy, but
you. You
trophy
know
nonetheless.
that's how Witcher contracts work. They don't bring you the whole beast. They bring you part of it. Have you ever tried to drag a griffin 6 miles?
No. I'm not trying to screw you over. I'm gonna give you your money, but I'm thinking, if there's no proof that it was a spider, what do you say it wasn't a spider? You see, I gotta think in here. You see, last night some shit happened, and a whole bunch of reports came in that people had weird dreams that weren't so weird. They were in their bed sleeping, but then all of a sudden they found themselves in different places, and some of them, what they experienced, their experiences were real. They came back with marks on them, burns or frostbite or whatever it is. They all came back with experiences, right? Now hear me out on this one. Some of them didn't come back. Some of them just never came back. So, you see the hunters, not the hunters, sorry, the paladins, the knights, they've been working on something. They brought in some vizier or a cleric or priest or whatever you want to call that holy man thing, who's been working with some books. We say it was them that did it.
Okay.
We say it was them that did it, and we can rise up and finally take care of them once and for all.
Yeah.
Sure, man.
Didn't you put out this contract to avoid the racial tensions that we're building
No,
in the
no,
city?
no. You don't understand. See, I wanted them to stop blaming us for something that we weren't doing. Honestly, I thought it was them, but I was mistaken. But that doesn't mean we can't use something to our opportunity here. I mean, sure enough, none of you like him. And he says, like, looking across at all of you. Then his eyes, like, stopping, looking at Tal. Then shrugging and, like, kind of, like, nodding to himself. Like, yeah, him too.
Tal's gonna sit down next to him.
As much as I don't like that, it seems a bit hypocritical.
Listen, now Tal's gonna take his grog, have a sip. I had a friend who was a dwarf. She was a good dwarf. You know what happened to her when she tangled with humans? And I don't mean this in the don't mess with humans way. I mean, don't start racial tensions. Don't start fights you can't win. Your boys, they're dwarves. They're strong. They're tough. But they've not got plate armor. They've not got gold. They've not got the numbers. These boys, they're just looking for an excuse to kill you. Give them that and they'll do it in a heartbeat.
It's going to have repercussions down the line as well.
Think about what your children might think. If you don't have any children, there's an even greater point there, isn't there? You're leaving nothing behind.
You see, we don't got the armor, but we got the will.
You got the will, you say?
That's all you need to win a war.
You and your boys, you got the will.
The will.
Yeah? Why don't you go and start a village somewhere then? If you've got all that will, then you'll be able to do that. Unless, of course, that's too much hard work and you just want to take what the humans have built. You're dwarves, you're builders, you're master crafters. Go and craft something for yourselves. Craft a life that you can be proud of.
Are you done preaching?
Yeah. He'll take another sip of grog.
He's just drinking his drink in front of him.
A spider than it was. A spider than it is. Good doing business with you boys. And, you know, he puts the, what was it, 500 gold he agreed to on the table.
Look, we had a talk, and you've done the right thing here. Put it back into the community.
I don't need to be paid either.
Show them that not all humans are bad. You guys agree?
I'm not a human.
I help the community anytime I get paid.
Tal's right. Tal's right.
Bran will sit there for a moment, reflecting on his own experience of nearly having his brain eaten, but no.
It's all part of the fun. Right? Right. So anyways, he like listens to you. He looks down at the gold. Has a bit of a look of disgust on him, like he, like, almost like it's pity money back his way, but he understands what you're trying to do, and he goes, "All right then," and like puts the money back down into like the bench next to him, and says, "Thanks, Ed. Keep the people safe. At least Al won't be eating brains, sending people to other places where their dreams come real and all that."
Yeah, these spiders, man.
You know, if I had a nest,
Ace
I
nest?
think Bran here, he's kind of like the the reader type, and he said that these types tend to like to work alone.
Sure. Sounds good then. Well, business concluded. Thanks again. And as you guys kind of like shuffle out of there and deciding what exactly you're going to do next, are you going to sit around for another week? Or are you going to push on? Why don't we take our first break, and we'll be back shortly to see how things play out. So see everybody in, I suppose, technically it's several minutes. Bye.